We're in Salt Lake City, Utah, home of the Delta Center, normally reserved for the giants of the NBA. Instead, tonight, hosts the finest women gymnasts in the country. It's the 1993 U.S. Gymnastics Championship. And hi, everybody, I'm Dan Hicks, and we welcome you to this final night of competition, the all-around last night, but tonight a much different type of competition. It gives the finest gymnasts in the country the chance to really concentrate on what they do best. Now, how did they get here? Well, the top 6 women in each event, based on last night's optionals, advanced to tonight's individual event finals. And now let's bring in our expert commentator, Tim Daggett. What makes tonight's competition so much different from last night's all-around?
Well, first of all, Dan, it's a very different mindset from the all-around competition. In the individual event finals, you'll have some athletes competing on 1, 2, maybe 3 different events. Each individual event is its own mini competition with a gold, silver, and bronze at stake. And, you know, in the all-around competition, everybody basically knew that if Shannon Miller didn't make a mistake, she was going to come out on top. Not necessarily so here tonight. Anything can happen. Dominique Dawes has newfound confidence from her silver medal in the all-around competition. She could win several medals here tonight. And Carrie Strug, she struggled a little bit last night, falling off the balance beam. She's 2-time defending vault champion. She'll be hard to beat there. And in the individual event finals, much more so than in the all-around, you can have that major surprise, someone we know very little about, sneak in there and win a gold medal.
All right, Tim, well, there is at least one gymnast with a chance at history tonight, and for more on that, let's go down to the floor and join Hannah Storm.
Well, Dan, that gymnast, of course, is Shannon Miller, and I talked with her earlier today about her chances of sweeping all 4 golds here tonight. She says she thinks she can do it, but she has to do one thing. That's sticker landings. That's about the only thing she didn't do perfectly last night. I also talked with her coach, Steve Nuno, and he is a little bit more conservative about her chances. He thinks that Shannon's second vault could keep her from winning that event. They do have a more difficult vault that they could throw for a gold medal, but he doesn't want to risk any injury to Shannon. Keep in mind, she's already competing with a lower back sprain that's been bothering her since January. By the way, the vault is the first event that we have here tonight, so we should know early whether or not Shannon Miller will make history at this year's U.S. Nationals. Dan?
All right, Hannah, thank you. And we are ready for the first of 4 events. Leading off the vault, Dominique Dawes. And Tim, she really wants to try and further close the gap on Shannon Miller.
Well, you know, she told us that confidence and consistency are her keys. She's had both in this competition so far. Unlike the all-around, in the finals, you need 2 strong vaults. They average them together, and that's your winner. Well, that's a good start for Dominique. Just the big step on the landing, but a very difficult vault.
All right. Feel the opening right on top. Yep.
Now, what's different about this, usually we'll see the athlete, they'll leave the horse, and they'll do only a full twist. She does 1.5 twists, and it's a blind landing, much more difficult. The only mistake here, now watch this, she'll be a little bit off to the side here. She should land exactly in the middle of the mat, so that should be a small deduction.
And the score for Dominique Dawes, the first vault, at 9.762.
Good score for Dominique on her first vault. She'll do a totally different vault this time. Handspring pike front.
Right.
Oh, way out of control on that landing right there. 2 big steps. That'll cost her.
Sky high. Just didn't open it on top. All right. Beautiful vault. Beautiful.
You see, Dan, many of these athletes, they don't practice these second vaults. They, in the all-around, only have to perform 1 vault. And so she really doesn't have the awareness she needs to know when to open up on this so she can stick the landing.
Dominique Dawes really rising into the international ranks, a 4th place finish in the recent World Championships. And her score in the second vault at 9.40, so the total at 9.581.
And, you know, Dan, pretty generous score with all those steps for Dominique Dawes.
At the top of the show, Tim, you mentioned some surprises. This is Kim Arnold, an alternate for this meet, a last-minute addition.
And a big injury just a little while back. Not very practiced on this vault. She handles it fine, though. Coach Stormy Eaton tells me that she has performed that vault only 5 times in the last 5 months because of a injury to her hand. Basically a good vault, just a small hop on that landing right there.
And the score for Kim Arnold at 9.487. Here's her second vault.
And this is where she shines. She's real strong second vault. Great landing on the second vault there.
Kim Arnold, 13th in the all-around competition. And Coach Stormy Eaton says he considers her the best vaulter in the country.
Well, Dan, I don't know if I'd go that far, but what she has is power. And on this event, that is the most important thing. She also had 2 great landings on her vaults.
And the score for Kim Arnold, the second vault at 9.625, the total at 9.556. Second place, still behind Dominique Dawes. And now we are ready to see the 2-time national champion in this event, Carrie Strug, the only disciple left from Bella Caroli competing in this event. And there are a couple of gymnasts who worked under Bella Caroli. There's Kim Zmeskal, who won this national championship the last 3 years.
New vault for Carrie Strug in this competition. Oh, and she handles it very well. 2 nights in a row, great landing.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right.
Now, the thing that's critical about this vault, much more difficult than the standard vaults that many of the other athletes are using, she's landing forward. And what that means is it's a totally blind landing. Watch, she won't be able to see the ground until after her feet have hit the floor. Very difficult.
Okay, hands in.
Well, Tim, any idea how those 2 judges will score it?
Well, I think, yeah, it looks like, yeah, Kim's giving it the thumbs up there.
Not bad, Kim Zmeskal says. And Carrie Strug's score on the first vault, excellent. The best score we've seen tonight, 9.850.
But this one will tell the story, Dan. The second vault, I know that Carrie does not practice anywhere near as much as her first vault. Oh, a little bit, not quite enough rotation. You could see that one right from the start. She wasn't going to have enough flip to get that all the way around to her feet. You know, as I said earlier, speed and power are the key ingredients on vaulting, and she just doesn't flip her body fast enough right from the board to the horse, and there's nowhere near enough rotation. Feet slide out from underneath her. Of course, anytime you sit down like that, it's a big deduction. Now watch, bent elbows on the horse, and she should just catapult off here. She's a little sluggish, and that's going to cost her a medal.
Very disappointing for Carrie Strug after the first vault score of 9.85, the second vault, and the total score. So the disappointing meet continues for Carrie Strug. Meanwhile, the moment has arrived for Shannon Miller, trying to become the first U.S. gymnast in history to win the all-around and sweep all the individual events. It begins here in the vault.
Dominique Dawes leading the way almost by default. It has not been a good competition so far. Carrie Strug, the favorite, having difficulties.
And here is Shannon Miller's first attempt at history.
Big hop on the landing. I've seen her do much better.
That's why you over-rotated it. You got to make sure that you get up on this vault here. Okay, see what she did under rotating? Okay, I'm going to put a mat in there for you too. Handspring front.
Now watch this. She's had problems the entire event on the landing of this. Of course, her feet should just stick to that mat, but there's a visible and very large hop. Score 9.637. It is still in her range, but remember, Hannah said at the top of the show, she's going with an easier vault. She's got to have a great landing. Another big step on the landing. This one is going to be very close.
All right, good shot now, right away.
Different problem from Carrie Strug. She actually holds on to her rotation or her tuck a little bit too long and has to take that very large step forward. And I got to tell you, it is going to be really, really close. Technically, this vault done pretty darn well. But once again, you have to stick the landing.
The score at 9.487, the total 2 100ths behind Dominique Dawes, who takes the first gold medal of the night. Shannon Miller's chance at history unsuccessful. The bars are coming up.